Thank you very much, Zoe and Mika. Yes, they have let us off the analyst desk of the Overwatch League. They've shipped us out to Thailand. Blizzard, you've made a mistake, but you don't realize it yet.
It's very possible, isn't it?
It is very possible. They don't realize it yet, Josh. But we've got a fantastic game of Overwatch coming up. It's Denmark versus Thailand. Great one to crack off this group stage. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think the entirety of the group that we have here in Bangkok in Thailand is very competitive. What we've seen over the previous couple of stages is some heavy favorites. Right here, anybody could take it. You saw when Uber and Mr. X were going through kind of the pre-game and some of their thoughts. It's a wide open group, and this game here I think should be kind of impossible to tell really, which way it's going. Last year, both of these two teams played against each other, ended in a draw. Can't happen today.
It cannot happen today, exactly. But I completely agree that this match is completely up in the air in regards to which team is going to be taking it. We don't really know how these teams are stacking up just yet. They seem like the strongest rosters they've actually built as of, for this World Cup at least, and for the previous World Cups. Both these teams are really just packing in as many high-quality players as possible, as you can see from this roster.
Yeah, and here's the Team Denmark roster. Their DPS duo that they're fielding here, you can see, is a trio with Shax and Fissure. The most interesting for me, they both play in NA contenders, but this roster across the board has played so often together in European contenders, in a variety of different teams. Copenhagen Flames, they've got a lot of synergy.
And then we move over to Team Thailand, and this is the squad. We were talking to them just the other day, and they said this is the team that is really going to be going to BlizzCon. They feel like this is the strongest roster they've put together in quite some time. They've got Mickey leading the charge as well. He's providing that owl level talent, essentially. He's got a lot of knowledge that a lot of these players, they don't have actually accessible to them in the contenders.
And the power of positivity is how
he
put it.
Positivity.
Which he always has. It
PMA.
Didn't quite work out for the Dallas Fuel this season, but you never know. You never know. Could happen here for Thailand. They were very confident when we were speaking to them. And the teams had kind of mixed success, these Thai teams in the Pacific region. But it looks like our first map here is going to be Nepal, Brent.
Yeah, it is going to be Nepal. An interesting one at that. And of course, it's always going to be that pre-selected control map to begin with. And then it is the next few maps, loser's pick when it comes to it. But Hybrid Assault Escort, that's what we're going to be going in that sort of order.
Absolutely.
It's going to be an interesting one for sure. But we also do have a little special video for all the people at home who may or may not know about how the control game mode works.
This is Control. Two teams fight head-to-head for control of a common objective located in the middle of the map. To capture the objective, your team must stand within its range for a set amount of time. Capture percentage is continually given to whichever team is in control. The enemy will fight to clear your team off and capture the objective for themselves. Losing control will pause your progress. Now your opponent gains capture percentage. If both teams are on the objective when one of them reaches 99% capture, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until one of the teams is cleared off. The round ends when either team achieves 100% capture. Each round is played on one of the map's 3 unique areas. Control is best of 3, so whichever team captures 2 objectives wins.
Welcome back. Yes, now we're heading straight into map number 1 on Nepal. And Nepal is an interesting map sideshow. You get to see a lot of different compositions based on the fact that the stages are all quite radically different in the way they're laid out.
They certainly are, and I think this meta that we've currently got, the patch that we're playing on, is great for the World Cup. We've got players that we haven't seen before at this kind of high level. You've got new talents, different hero pools, and almost anything is viable. We're seeing a lot of Sombra played at the moment, and it looks like Aputo is going to be bringing us out on this. And that has been, in the past, last year, a very strong pick for him.
Yeah, Thailand, I think, out of all the teams in this World Cup group, are the ones that are most comfortable playing the Sombra in general. And Aputo has proven himself as well. He's also, a lot of people think of him as this projectile main, right? This Genji player, but they don't actually know that he's pretty strong when it comes to the hit scan roles as well. The Widowmaker, and now the Sombra as well, which he's trying to specialize more into these days.
And both of these two teams very tight. We can expect a range of compositions as they feel each other out, going live with our first control.
Yeah, we absolutely are. And it looks like Denmark going to be running Fissure on the Brigitte, so Aputo's got to be careful of those stuns as well. Could get caught out of position, but remember, we've got that infinite stealth on Sombra these days, so she can just really try and scout out the information. And there's the first hack, and it's all about the information game, really, when you're running this composition on the side of Thailand. No casualties just yet, but Ding, he's going to be able to put him down. Pan from across the map there. Shax follows it up as well onto Rocket. And that's the support gone. The Mercy out of the picture. There's a lot of healing missing, and Denmark, they are in a very comfortable position to try and take up this first control point now. It should be theirs to take.
Yeah, very tentative approach actually from both teams, and Thailand looked like they'd taken a decent position. But with that Farah that Pan's actually switched away from now, that the right click coming out from Ding just utterly destroyed him. This is actually a very difficult composition to play the Farah into. That's why we're seeing the switch over for Pan as he moves onto the Genji. That's going to pair well with the Nano Blade, but he has to get a blade up. The dive comes
Nano boost. They're going to use it straight up onto Tita Watt. He's going to be pushing all of Denmark straight out of the way. Mickey's going to be the one though to kill onto Shax in the end. He's moved into the back line. The rest of the team is there. Now he's going to be using that promo rage, looking to try and push them around all over the bloody place. Denmark often to use that sound barrier, but it gets cleared out by a Puto's EMP. Beautiful maneuvering by Thailand as they retake the point. And this is another one fight for them, or it should be the first one fight here of this series.
Great play from Thailand there. Fantastic engage from Tita Watt, making use of the Nano Boost, which was up before any of the other ultimates. And Telex, I think, possibly shouldn't have invested that sound barrier. When you know that there's an EMP on the other side, it's just going to get obliterated. And now Denmark, though, they do have an advantage because they can push back in with this Transcendence.
Look at
Thailand
this.
take the advantage, though, take the initiative.
Straight up progression. Mickey using a sound destruct to create space, and it looks like Thailand going to be forcing out some ultimates away from Denmark as they're using the Transcendence to stay alive, bully their way onto the point once again. They're desperate for that kill onto Panies, and they are going to receive it. But Shax now is being assaulted, 40 HP. Finally, Tita gives him a punch in the face, and another Nano Boost was built up in that time. Ridiculous stuff, but it looks like Thailand are not going to be winning this team fight out. They're going to have to reset this one, just try and die on the point, get as much capture time as humanly possible. But Denmark are going to be, again, taking control of this first round.
Very back and forth game between these two at the moment, and it's Fischer that's provided his team with all of this armor, which
It's going to be beautiful.
It could be pivotal for the next fight. Padapan's going to want to make the best use of this Dragon Blade, but Denmark are going to be so ready for it. They should be tracking the ultimates. They should know exactly when it's coming in. They will have a barrier to pair along with it, so Rocket and Padapan, the guys to watch here, see if they can get anything done with it. But it's really quite telegraphed.
Oh, an excellent first kill though, and Zenobi gets caught out of position, and now the blade comes out. It's going to be hard to get any value out of it because of the armor that they've got out up, but Fischer uses his bash early, doesn't get too much value, but that's going to be the one-for-one trade. Denmark still in this fight for the time being. Self-destruct going to be used here, and Denmark seem to be coming out on top right now. Thailand, do they want to commit any more ultimates? I believe you should just reset in this scenario, and it looks like they're going to be doing exactly that.
They actually took control of the capture point in the middle of all of this because Denmark had to sit so far back. They were trying to bait out the blade, successfully managed to do that. Dropped their Winston early on, Nerf went down, but that was all fine. Denmark is now stabilized and they have a huge amount of ultimates available to go. They've just got to watch out for this EMP. Thailand have to make the most of it. So back and forth so far in this first round, but here we go again from Thailand with the engage.
Soundbar used super early. The EMP now is going to be unleashed as well, but kills finally going to be flowing in for Thailand. 3 consecutive, that's very quick, and with that said, the team fight should be over now for Denmark. They've got to reset this nice and fast, die on the point, get a bit more of that capture point. Thailand winning this out, and they're going to be able to flip it over.
Gotta be honest though, Brent, if I'm Denmark in this situation, I'm still feeling pretty good. 95%, 5 ultimates up across the board, and Danny at 97%. If they ever wanted an opportunity to recapture this point, they've got one right here. They just have to dodge this Nano Blade. Again, they should know that it's coming. These ultimates up so often, but what can they do about it?
2 support ults to use. The Nano Blade's going to come out. He gets a kill onto Kellex. He can't get the sound barrier up. He's going to get a second one and a third. Pan, you absolute madman. They finally shut him down, but the damage is done. Denmark, they had the tools to prevent it, but unfortunately wasn't good enough. The self-destruct is going to be used now in the tail moments of this fight. They're going to try and flip it over, but now it's the overtime. Mickey does end up getting desuited here, but Thailand, all they got to do is clean up the stragglers, and this first round should be going their way, but Denmark somehow have managed to battle back.
Unbelievable plays. Shax just hasn't been contested this entire time, pouring damage into everybody. Aputo has an EMP, but he's not going to be able to get it up. I think too low, actually goes down. Rocky with the sound barrier, but he can't even get to the point. I think has to use it preemptively, and he won't even get there. What a nuts way to end our first control point here.
That is ridiculous. After such an overwhelming advantage from that Nano Blade, Somehow Denmark managed to turn it around.
Pan did all he could.
Pan did all he could. Mate, that is actually ridiculous from Denmark to turn that around and take that first round. Thailand, they're going to be kicking themselves.
They absolutely are, but I think the silver lining for it is that it's as close as we expected so far between these two teams. As we said, last year when they faced each other, they drew. These, I think, are stronger rosters from both teams coming into the 2018 World Cup. So we've potentially got a cracking series on our hands.
This is definitely exciting, for sure. We're going to be moving over to the village section now of Nepal. Denmark look to be teasing a little bit of a composition here. We've seen a bit of the May on Village. We see it every now and then. It's very powerful at blocking off these choke points on the point, and Denmark going to be opting to just rush straight onto the point. Thailand going to be rotating onto the high ground as well, so it's a bit of poking, a bit of prodding from both these teams. I think Denmark are probably going to try and at least take position into one of these spots so they can take advantage of that May wall that we were talking about earlier.
And for Thailand, the idea here is to get a lot of information from Aputo, try and catch off somebody as they're transitioning in the open area towards that point, and then build up the EMP, because that EMP is still going to be devastating if they manage to get it on the point. Denmark have managed to get everybody in the May wall blocked and get the control point. So far, so good from them. Thailand now, the pressure is on them to dislodge them.
It really is. Class execution by Denmark to be able to do that one. Thailand, there's a big importance on Mickey as well to eat up these healing orbs from Denmark. Otherwise, they're going to have so much sustain on the points. And Thailand, they're struggling to get back in. Aputo manages to get one hack on. Is that going to lead the initiation in for Thailand now? They're coming in. The wall comes out from them, but it doesn't block any of the players off. Still, Denmark in control. It's the slow siege, it seems like. Mickey gets these suited. Pan's going to be going down. Aputo follows it up as well. And Thailand, just got to reset this one, lads. Take it back. Reset, come back, you know, collect your thoughts and try and think of a way to try and break this defense.
I think it's good from Thailand that they were able to be coordinated enough to bait out Fischer's abilities. The problem was they weren't then able to take advantage of the fact that his cooldowns were down, and Fischer's nearly built up to a blizzard. And in general, Denmark are ahead of the ultimate game because they took that first point, and already up to 50%. Thailand need to up the pace, up the tempo, and instead they're going over to the Pharaoh for more damage. So I don't know really whether this is the right approach.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I mean, it's sometimes difficult to get these shots off, but they are going to be going in anyway. 2-1 again. The recipient of the nano boost, and they found a kill off the back of it. Damage boosting up. Kellick's going to be falling here. That means it's an opening for Thailand to really capitalize off. The question is, can they get into this choke point? Can they get even onto the point right now? It's very difficult to engage into this kind of competition, especially when Denmark right now, they're building up these ultimates. EMP comes into the back, but Aputo brought down straight away. Is there any follow-up whatsoever? Ding, finally going to fall. That will force out the sound barrier for Denmark. Still winnable maybe from Thailand, but they're freezing up Mickey all over the place. The CC is there. Crowd control abilities. Ground on serve. I don't know if it connected onto anyone there. Quite... My goodness, Denmark still holding on to this point.
Every ultimate in the world. Denmark are desperate to stay in control of this. They could have reset, saved these ults, and come back in. But instead, they've committed everything, and they must win this fight. Nerf goes down, and he had an Earth Shadow to be able to use here. There's only a couple of players left in Thailand, but they're trying so hard.
Mickey had to go huge with that self-destruct. He gets one kill as a result, but Denmark are too good at focusing down the right targets at the right time. This point should be theirs as the supports fall. It's going to be some last-ditch efforts to try and stall this one out, but it's looking like Denmark are going to be taking this first map here. They're so close, inches away, and there you have it, map 1. Going to be going to Denmark.
Very strong performance, I think, from Denmark on that second point on the village. They had an excellent strategy, committed really well to the execution. They're looking strong overall, Brent.
They are. I've been very surprised, actually, at how well they were able to turn some of those team fights towards the tail end. Especially if you think back to that first round where we saw Pan, who got a lot of kills with that nano blade, but they still couldn't quite manage to capture the point out. And that should have been their round. That's what I'm saying. It's all going to come back to that. Thailand are going to be kicking themselves after just managing to lose that one and not be able to focus down the right targets at the right time to flip that point in their favor.
And we know from looking at the Denmark roster, Nerfed is very capable on the Rhine. The entirety of the European teams and players that we have here at Bangkok.
Very capable Rhine players.
All they play is Reinhardt and European contenders. So yeah, you really have to have a plan to be able to deal with that. And Thailand, it didn't seem like they could really pick the pace up too well. Aputo not getting enough damage in for those EMPs. But a close series overall, and Thailand still should be able to stay in this.
I think it's interesting as well because we've been talking as well about what we're expecting from the metagame, at least from these teams. We've had a bit of a preview from the Burbank World Cup stop as well.
And Korea as well, of course.
And Korea, of course. But this is interesting because I've been speaking to a lot of pro players, and they've been putting a lot of emphasis on Sombra in general. A lot of Sombra, a lot of Doomfist.
You've just been having a chat with Johnny over breakfast.
It is just Johnny. I'm not going to lie. Johnny is very keen to talk about Sombra and Doomfist. He seems to feel like it's one of the strongest compositions being ran right now. And when we were talking to all these teams, it seemed like Thailand were the only ones that were really comfortable running a lot of Sombra.
I think some of the other teams will be keeping their cards close to their chest as well. I think
Caster's well known for leaking strats to other teams, of course.
Absolutely, but I think the Sombra Doomfist is an incredibly powerful strategy. It just depends whether you have the players to be able to play it.
Well, I have a feeling I know what next map is going to be, Josh.
Do you?
Because it might be on that monitor over there, but the audience, they don't know that.
He's a cheater.
So I'm going to guess that it might be King's Row.
Incredible.
It could be King's Row. Incredible. In fact, look at that. It is King's Row. Wow.
You are a genius.
I am a genius.
This is why I love casting with you. You are the prophet. The oracle.
The oracle is what they call me. But we're going to be going to another little map explainer to break down this game mode for all you new guys at home.
This is hybrid. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to first capture a payload and then escort it along a set path containing 2 checkpoints. To capture the payload, the attackers need to stand within its range for a set amount of time. Defenders can delay capture progress by also standing in range. The attackers must work together to clear away the defenders. If successful, they score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. The payload only moves forward when an attacker stands near it. Defenders can delay the payload's movement by standing nearby. To get moving again, the attackers must clear away the defenders by force. If even one attacker is capturing the objective or on the payload when the time runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until the attackers are either cleared away or they gain more time by reaching a checkpoint. Every time the payload reaches a checkpoint, the attackers score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. The round ends when the payload reaches the destination or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points and escorts the payload farthest wins.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope that little explainer was useful. It certainly was for me, because I don't know what I'm doing. But we're going to be going into King's Row here. Of course, the map pick for Thailand is going to be rolling out with some compositions. King's Row, a personal favorite of mine, Josh. I do love this map. It's a personal favorite of everyone, I feel like.
Why do you enjoy it so much? You play
It's dark, it's gritty, you know. I actually really do like playing.
Are you dark and gritty?
I am dark and gritty.
I'm not sure I would use those 2 words to describe you.
No, you wouldn't. I just like playing Reinhardt on it. I feel like it's a sick Reinhardt map. It's really good. It's very choke pointy, which means it's easy to hit off these Earth Shatters. It looks like right now, teams are still setting up, but Thailand, no intentions of running Reinhardt in the slightest.
No, doesn't seem like it. It is a very strong map for this double sniper setup as well that Aputo and Patapana have got running. And I wonder what Denmark are going to come out with here, because they certainly could match. They can play a range of compositions, and Shaq's on the Sombra. I've been waiting to see this. The guy's tracer play is so good. Kobe!
Straight into... No, gets 8 up. No. Sorry, lads.
Danny's on top of that one.
Danny is on top of that one. That's some good piece of play right there. We're going to see Denmark look to poke and prod once again, searching for information. Fisher on the Genji. Sky DPS player. Capable one of that. Right now, no casualties. Just going to be waiting for the right moment to dive onto a specific target or two. His double sniper is quite weak to a lot of these dive heroes, but there's the target straight into the backline, and there he is. Panias goes down. That's a significant lack of heals now for this squad, but Ding is also going to fall on the opposite side, which means Thailand, they might be able to turn this one around unless Denmark can start to get some kills and pick it up. It's a scrappy engagement, but it looks like they've come out on top. Denmark going to have to reset this one, but they do have the superior spawn, Sancho.
They do. I'm not sure whether that's going to make too much difference. It was the backline there for Denmark that couldn't stay alive, but Danny, If he continues to be D-Mech like this, he's not going to have too much fun as well. It looks like Denmark are going in for a little faster engage, trying to use those additional spawns.
Yeah.
But with Shax going down, that should spell doom and despair for Denmark.
They're still going to be looking to try and get any value they can out of this push attack, because I think they realize Thailand are late coming into this team fight, and they're just kind of straggling onto the point right now. It can be a little bit questionable. It depends what kind of kills Denmark can try and pick up out of it, but here comes the Dragon Strike by Puto. Are they going to be able to get any kills? Denmark slept! The Nano Boost was used there onto Nerf, but unfortunately not going to be getting any value out of it. Still, it's an even engagement for them. They're trying to bring down Puto. He's going to get the anti-nade on them, and Fisher's going to be using the blade to clean up the rest of this fight. Denmark will be taking these initial points.
Pretty interesting, actually, from Denmark. Both of those times, they engaged without Shax being in proper position. The first time, he was still trying to get a flank set up, and it was Fisher and Nerf that found that initial kill. The second time, Shax died, and they still commit to it. They just seem to have the confidence in their dive ability and their overwhelming aggression, and the fact that they had those ultimates available to go.
Well, here we have it. Shax, this is the power of Sombra, right? You can get all the information for the rest of your team. EMP comes in along with the Self-Destruct. They get no value, though, out of those two ultimates. They need to at least get one kill, but Party's brought down Shax. Getting a little bit too greedy there in the back lines. Now Denmark on the back foot. You can see the Dragon Strike unleashed by Puto. See if he can try and segregate the rest of their team, and he gets the kill onto Nerf as well. So Thailand going to be able to defend this one.
They certainly are in a dangerous position here for Denmark as well. Could certainly get some extra players. Staggered out.
Oh my goodness, it's still turning their way though. Denmark, they still have the confidence and the aggression to try and get these return kills, because they know, again, they got the superior spawns.
And Shax moving on to the Tracer here. This is one of his best heroes. He's been playing it a lot in European and North American contenders and looked fabulous on it when he was playing it there. Didn't have the most impressive performance on the Sombra, but now he's going to help in the dive.
Yeah, Tita Watt's going to be trying to force some of these ultimates out from them, but it looks like Denmark are going to be using some of their own as well. And was used onto Fisher. Blade comes out. He's ripped through Tita Watt, and he gets a second one onto Puto in the back lines. Get it, fights out all over the place. Get it. You were really invested in that little individual 1v1 there in the back lines. But it looks like finally Denmark have broken through using their superior ult advantage.
They have, and at the moment Thailand is struggling a little bit, I think, because a lot of these fights should be more even, and they're either losing a player early on that goes a little too far forwards, or they're unable to predict the ultimates that are coming out of Denmark, even when they have ultimates of their own to be able to counter with. So I want to see Thailand really work on either playing more aggressive than Denmark or shoring up some of these difficulties. Because Fisher shouldn't be able to go and get away with stuff like that.
Fisher, 49 HP in a dream. The kills are coming in. Puto's using his Dragon Strike. It doesn't quite look like it's good enough. Shax using his Pulse Bomb. So many kills now are flowed in for Denmark here. This should be a one fight if they manage to really salvage whatever they can out of the rest of this fight. The Self-Destruct is the last-ditch effort there by Vicky. Does manage to get a D-Meg, but again, not good enough, as it looks like Denmark are on top of the game.
And my big problem with this from Thailand is, where's the Brigitte? They're running energy, they're running Tracer. Both of these heroes should be shut down fairly easily. If you reinforce your backline, get a Brigitte in the mix. Instead, they're sticking with the double sniper, and yep, Puto hits a headshot there, but where have those been for the last couple of minutes? Thailand are very firmly on the back foot, and only now are making changes to their composition, with Nicky going over to the Zarya. Again, not something that I think is even the best way of dealing with full dive.
Well, they got a Nano Blade coming up from Denmark as well, and no support else for Thailand. This could be enormous. Fisher ready and waiting, he's been building it up, and here comes the Nano Boost straight into the backline, the Nano Blade. Kill, 2 kill, the bubble won't save you now, Pani, yes, he's down and out. Can he find a third? Not quite, but it still looks like this team fight has been set up for the victory. The win condition is there now for Denmark. They're going to be able to find a couple. Tita Watt manages, though, in a nick of time, and Pan's managed to turn this one around. That was looking so winnable for Denmark, but Thailand baiting them out.
Yeah, a strange situation at the end of that fight. I think pretty much Padapan getting a really good sight line as they pushed the cart forward, ended up swinging that in Thailand's way. But they did get a lot of push, and they still have a good opportunity to engage here with both the sound barrier and the primal raid. So, oh, that's absolutely pivotal. Padapan again saving things at the beginning of this fight. So difficult now for Denmark to engage.
And this is the power of the double sniper, right? You can use that recon arrow from your Hanzo player to try and get that information for your Widowmaker to hit these headshots. You can't corner peeks like that when you know that that's available to them, because it's going to end in misery for you. And Thailand, they've set themselves up. That is really crucial in being able to... That's questionable, Shax. That is questionable, lad. I'll be having a word with Mayhem Academy after that.
Shax's normally a good Tracer player. Don't hold it against him, Brett. I've seen what he's capable of. But here for Denmark, they do actually have a problem. This final point is very holdable with the double sniper. And despite the fact that Thailand were kind of rolled back to point C, they could hold for the whole of the rest of this time.
They really could.
And Denmark making changes. Jax says, I know that pulse bomb, Brett, disappointed you, and therefore I'm going to switch on to the Widowmaker.
Lovely stuff, lovely stuff. I've noticed as well, Thailand, they're not afraid to throw out these dragon strikes as well. Abuto is confident enough to know that he's going to be building one up by the time that he gets his Graviton Surge so that they can combo it up again.
Building them so fast.
Yeah, they really do in this day and age with the new and improved hands. I say new and improved, he's been around for quite some time.
He has.
That Storm Arrow. But now Denmark are looking to lead the charge. Initiating in, it's going to be that 6-man sound barrier. And now the Nanabu's going to be used onto Mickey so they can build this up. Rocky gets the boot onto Nerf into the pit. He's down and out. Fans clutching it out as well. And this is beautiful for Thailand. 1 minute 20 seconds. Denmark, they got to basically reset this one out nice and quickly. They've maybe got 2 push attempts, but Thailand are going to be close now to that Dragon Strike Grav combo.
And I think these kind of situations are where the crowd really comes into play as well. When you've got a situation where Denmark are just running their heads against a brick wall and Thailand are holding and holding, the fact that the crowd's behind Thailand all the time here, whole crowd advantage really starts to come in. They feel so confident.
Denmark going to be sending out that Savage Shot. No casualties. Graviton Surge down. A Dragon Strike into the back lines, but it's an even trade right now. 3 for 3. Teether Watt with the charge onto Fisher as well. They have managed to almost stall this one out. Still, Denmark not clutchable with the plays they got up. There's only so much damage to do against the shield of Teether Watt as he's holding onto that Earth Shatter as well.
That's a strange decision from Teether Watt. Has to back off and now recharge his barrier. He's given a bit more space for Denmark to work with. But a lot of ultimates about to be built up for Thailand, and he comes down to his right pad. Can't Teether Watt land.
He's got to get value from this Earth Shatter. He's running away. He's so scared of him. The charge coming out. Nerf is bringing the fight to him, but now Nerf is in the backline. Another charge comes out. This is some Johnny Larson Reinhardt gameplay, if I do say so myself. The Earth Shatter does not connect onto a single soul, but I don't think it matters for Thailand because they're winning the fight anyway. Pani yes with the anti-gate. Nerf gets brought down. Overtime now for them. Denmark forced to switch over to these stalling heroes.
Desperation hamster.
Absolute desperation, Josh. And the overtime comes down. Thailand do not allow Denmark to get that 3rd checkpoint.
What a strong performance from Thailand on that point C defense. Just beautiful stuff. Patapon really showing up on that Widowmaker. And yes, they didn't hold point A and point B for very long, but point C is so good with those sight lines, and Denmark couldn't find a way.
Oh,
magic. Tasty.
Oh, God, you'd love to see it. You really do, as a Lucio player.
That was about 800 health, wiped off the map.
Straight away.
Not quite,
That's efficiency right there.
It really
That's
is.
efficiency, baby.
With a little right click.
I tell you what, I am pleased to see a lot more Lucio being played as well with the subsequent nerfs to Mercy. You know, I actually enjoyed the Mercy meta. You saw a lot more Widowmaker.
So much.
Widowmaker, still seeing these double snipers, but also these tank compositions. And now Lucio and Ana coming back into the fray. You'd love to see it.
Absolutely do, because it increases the speed of gameplay so much as well. Allows you to play these aggressive dive compositions. Yes, you don't have as much stability in your backline as if you had the Mercy there with the Resurrect available and all of that sustained healing. But it's so darn fun, Brent.
It is so darn fun. I can't wait to see what your Lucio's like, mate.
My Lucio is...
because, I mean, people aren't playing Zen these days. I hope you realize that. You can't start feeding into the backline.
I don't know whether you can look at your screen right now,
Brennan, I can't
but Kellex is playing Zen.
He is, okay. Yeah, and sure.
Ding was playing it earlier. You can't fool me.
Listen, Josh. You can, I don't know if you can hear the crowd chants in the background, but this is like another kind of energy for Thailand. When the crowd is on your side, I've heard it mentioned time and time again, and I spoke to Thailand. I said, do you think the crowd is going to be giving you an advantage? And they said, well, not so much. You know, Mickey was like, I focus on the game. But you can't deny there's something about it. When you've got a room of over 2,000 people cheering you on, you can't help but be empowered by it. But now Thailand's turn to attack here on King's Row, and again, scouting it out, looking for information before they set up the dive, and it looked like they're going to be trying to collapse onto that one little player there. The D-Mech onto Danny, he's down and out, but Denmark are battering back. Fisher on the Doomfist manages to secure a kill, but still it's even trades all around right now. Denmark, this is a worrying scenario right now, because again, they do not have an advantage when it comes to using, I should say, the
spawns,
spawn advantage. That's what I'm trying to get at.
There you go. You got there.
I got there eventually.
Both teams utilizing the Sombra pretty well, pretty effectively, but it's Denmark that comes out with Fissure on the Doomfist. And Doomfist normally a little bit of a weaker hero. Once you've used your cooldowns, bit of a potato. But when you're pairing up with that Sombra, he gets the perfect engagements every single time. And Fissure was just delivered Team Thailand on a platter in both of these fights.
It's disgusting!
And this is not some kind of supernatural ability from Fissure to know where everyone is on the map, despite not being able to see them. It's Shax, it's communication.
Yeah.
It's Team Denmark working well together to set Fissure up.
This is the thing that Johnny was so excited about. This is the comp. This is it. Johnny reinforced Larson. He was saying it's all about that Doomfist Sombra. You got the scouting capabilities of Shax. He can set up these engages perfectly. And now we see Thailand with another opportunity to try and go in. No ultimates to their name. Denmark have a few, so I think right now they're going to be trying to force out as many as they can to try and take a better team fight as a result of it. But Denmark, they might just choose to take the initiative.
Nanoblade available for them now, and this was the big one. It looks like Panny's actually trying to get a sightline.
Here we go. Right into the backlines. I think that might have been a Nanoblade into the back, but there we have it. One kill for them. Pan picked up a second one. Shax ended up using that EMP into the backline as well. We just caught that in the nick of time. So it is even trades. Thailand, they need to really sort of coordinate now to get the better end of this team fight. Hacked up Tito. He is a walking potato now. He's a very big walking potato with 1,000 HP, and they have to back off from that.
Absolutely. And I think, again, there, the situation is that the Thailand backline wasn't quite ready for the counter EMP coming out and the dive from Fissure. They need to be able to shut down this Doomfist, I think, because their aggressive opportunities are not going so well. So Pan's made the move over to McCree. They're just going to be slowly taking room and trying to shut down Fissure as he engages. Dropped so weak there, actually, Fissure.
Oh, straight into the back. Shax wins the 1v1 against Aputo in the back. And that is not boding well for Thailand. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. They look like they still want to try and take this team fight. But right now, I don't know how that wasn't a kill, but we're going to continue anyway as we look to go into this next team fight. Again, Fissure going to be using this punching capabilities as the Doomfist character to try and get as many kills as he can and force them out of position.
Tell me more about this punching capability.
The punching capabilities are very strong, Sideshow. If you hit him against the wall, usually it insta-kills.
Thank you for that hot tip.
No problem.
I've never seen you play Doomfist well, so I don't know where you're getting these tips from.
Oh, here we
again
go.
Into the back. They're so good at being able to force out the supports of Denmark, but then what do?
This is wonderful. Tito has really segregated them away from the rest of this point. EMP, though, nobody's going to be dying from that self-destruct of Denmark apart from Mickey getting the D-make. If they can force down Nerf on the backline, this could be ideal for them still. Tito, he's looking for that milk. He's going hard for it onto the point, but he's not quite finding the kills, and another sleep comes out. It's been clutched from Ding this entire game. Finally, though, Thailand, I was getting a little bit scared for them there, Josh.
It looks like they're engaging, actually. Denmark in, and they've got Fissure's comet explosion ability to be able
Meteor strike, Josh.
That's
Meteor strike. He lays it down. He's got one kill, or he's set it up for the rest of his team. But it looks like Thailand are really battering back. Pan onto the Tracer, trying his hardest to secure this one. Tito Watt. I mean, goodness gracious me. That is unreal. They should be able to get this one in the nick of time. A second left, and they finally do it.
I thought we were just giving nicknames to all of Doomfist's abilities.
I genuinely forgot the name of his ability for a second. I'm not going to front. You know, I'll be honest. You know, find me. I don't know.
Thailand just in the nick of time. They're able to take point A. And I think the great thing that they're able to do is consistently zone out Ding and Kellex. Whether they kill them with Padapan or whether they pressure them away with Watt's Nano Boost and then the Primal Rage, they are great at being able to get pressure on the Denmark backline. And this time they killed Fissure early on, and I think that has been a big problem for them throughout that point A offense. And this composition is again going to be difficult for them to deal with. The Farah and the Mei come out from Denmark.
Yeah, and Thailand, they're going to be using that one. A Nano Boost by Denmark into the back. Shax, he's picked up Panny S, but not before the kills are traded evenly. No more supports up for Denmark now, as this fight is really going to the bitter end, into the streets of King's Row. Still even trades up. Nobody really able to bring down Shax. The self-destruct going to be forced into the back lines, which means the kills still look like it's going in the way of Denmark. I think they're going to be happy the way this team fight has laid out.
Absolutely. Shax just stayed alive for a little too long there, and they've got to make some changes to be able to deal with it. They couldn't escort Aputo in without any pressure to be able to deal with the Farah. It's very difficult sightlines when you're in King's Row because you have to look so high up, so much variance in your aiming there when you're trying to take down the Farah. And so they've switched, they were going to switch Padapan over to the Widowmaker, but now they've thought better of it. I think they're just focusing on the ground battle now. They want to take the Mei and the tanks out of the fight.
They really do. I kind of like this little trade up here. I wonder who they're going to be using this nano boost on. They've been prioritizing T2 a lot, but he's close to this Earth Shatter. And again, it's hard to get value out of an Earth Shatter when they're running so many high mobility heroes on the side of Denmark. But we'll see what he can do. He gets blown up immediately. Shax using his barrage. Thailand a little bit too late there with that sound barrier, not getting maximum value out of it. Now we're going to see the nano boost used by Mickey, and it's just the tail ends, the dregs of this fight, and they manage to turn it around. Shax and Kelix, the only men's left standing, and that's because Shax has just respawned as well from the last team fight. Which means Thailand, I mean, I don't think there's going to be any contention whatsoever from Denmark here. They are getting this second check.
They definitely can't get men's there, I think.
Men's there. Man's not hot. Who knows, Josh? Who knows?
Who
Do
knows?
your job and analyze.
Thailand's looking pretty hot right now, though. Again, Padapan was able to get into the back line and take that 1v2 against both of the supports. They aren't being able to shut down Thailand's offense, but then their tanks struggle a little bit. So it all comes down to point C here. They have some big ultimates to work with, Thailand.
He's got to get value. He only gets the one onto Fisher, but that might be good enough. Surely they're going to try and get the res as well. Oh my goodness, Kelix. That was ballsy, son. He gets Fisher back up.
How does he survive?
And they are going to be able to turn this one around. He took 2 hammers to the face there. Still managed to win it out. And
I'm
Denmark,
not sure I could survive one.
You really couldn't. I've seen you play Overwatch, Josh. It's quite tragic, trust me. But again, Denmark really recognizing the win conditions in these team fights, executing it perfectly.
Did execute perfectly there, and Mickey used his Graviton, T2 used his Earth Shadow, so now not as many ultimates, and this is the problem with point C of King's Row. Only 1 minute remaining, and you've used some of your major abilities that are going to be able to help you do it.
Oh, anybody going to be dying from this one? T2, he falls. I think that was a stun coming out from Fisher. Beautiful execution. I was about to say tracking. I'm sorry, Atlas. I'm sorry. We're never going to forget that one, lads. But it looks like Denmark's still winning this one out. 30 seconds remaining. And Thailand, I mean, they got to reset this. They got to get back. They've only got one opportunity to really make this right.
I think back in Apex, you did actually have to track with the Brigitte shield.
Yes, of course. Sure. Sure, I'll allow it. I'll give you one. Don't worry.
Ding close to the Transcendence, and they've almost got the armor available from Fisher as well. This is going to be difficult for Thailand to burst, but what a great
goes
grenade.
Down. This could be beautiful for them. Still, the Fisher's finding the kill, and Shax wins the 1v1 against Aputo. You can't let that happen. Still, Thailand are getting pressured down. If T2 dies here, it's disastrous, and he falls. Ding using that Transcendence to really just try and win this fight out for them now. Mickey desperately trying to turn this fight for them, but he's going to fall as well.
Padapan has to clutch.
Back in. He's got to clutch this one, but he's fallen off the map. No! He fists his way back onto the high ground. Not today, Anakin. And it's going to be beautiful for them to slip into the back line. Nerf goes down as well. Thailand might just be doing this.
Oh, but Shax is clutching 2 big picks at the end. Rocket and Aputo. They've got nobody to dislodge him from the high ground. He's got his sights available. Can just rain terror.
Lays down the Earth Shatter. He only gets 1 Mickey with the long range grab as well. Nobody's on the cart. And Denmark, off the back of Shax's clutch double kill at the end of that team fight, are going to be winning that map out. And that's wonderful stuff indeed. I mean, Denmark, these maps, they've been close. We knew they were going to be close.
So close.
I actually pinned Thailand as the favorites in this one. And I mean,
I think I would have done as well, actually.
It's interesting to see Denmark come out so strong here.
Denmark are looking great. They've got great coordination throughout the entirety of the team. And the 2 DPS players that we highlighted earlier on who play North American contenders, they were picked up out of Europe, noticed for their talent. Shax and Fisher have been playing very well in these clutch situations, getting good value out of the Doomfist the entirety of the map there, Fisher, and it just wasn't to be for Thailand.
Denmark are the one team that we always talked about as the dark horse in this event, right?
The dark horse.
The dark horse. They've got the most opportunities to really upset some of these players. But for now, if you're a big fan of Zoe, I think she's got a special someone on the floor who she's going to be interviewing.
I now have Aputo from Team Thailand joining me here for a quick word. So it was a rough start against Team Denmark. What do you feel you guys need to change up for the second half of this game?
I think we should like slow the team attitude and atmosphere for like better. Because right now we like.
What is the Widowmaker called? I forgot.
We play too early and not coordinate with teammates, right?
Yeah. Okay, so being a bit more patient and waiting it out a little bit more. And I mean, we saw on the second map, King's Row, Denmark did struggle to deal with your double sniper. Do you have some other strats in the back pocket, to deal with Team Denmark?
I'm not sure. I think our team
can't hear this engineer, so we
don't
can't.
try to like fix enemy team, but we try to play like muscle memory. Yeah, do what we practice.
Just coming
That
back
is
to us
the
or go
best,
to a break?
the best way.
All right, just do what you did in your practice. That is good advice for your team. Now, how is it for you? I mean, we've seen you in previous Overwatch World Cups, but now you're playing at home. You're playing in front of the home crowd. How is it for you to be here in Thailand and play Overwatch on the big stage?
Oh, so good.
Yeah, the numbers.
Want to say anything to the audience in Thai?
Huh?
Talk to your audience in Thai. Anything you want to say to them?
ก็ขอบคุณทุกคนที่มาด้วยนะครับ ก็อยากให้เชียร์ทีมไทยดังกว่านี้นิดนึงนะครับ เพราะว่าผมเชื่อว่าเราชนะได้นะครับ ขอโอกาสเนาะ
I don't know what you said, but they loved it. I loved it too. Thank you so much for joining me. Good luck in that second half. We're now heading into a quick break, and then we're back with the second half of Team Denmark going up against Team Thailand.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup, and by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
Whoa, bro. You are not driving. I'm driving, bro. What? Yeah. You know, I'm like the guy. And you're kind of like, what? The other guy, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, look, you know, you're my wingman, right? Yeah, you're like my navigator, my passenger.
Whoa.
No offense, no offense, no offense.
No, definitely offense taken. I'm in the driver's seat plenty.
Well, think of it this way, bro. Like, I'm like the maverick, and you're kind of like the goose.
Oh, okay, I see how this is. I'm Batman, you're Robin.
Bro, you gotta be at least this tall to be Batman.
Yes, I am.
And secondly, I'm Sinatra. You are Sleepy.
No, you are sleepy, man.
Right, you are definitely sleepy,
No,
mate.
you're sleepy.
You got the sickest
You
sleep
are
dice, bro. You are
sleepy.
definitely sleepy, man.
You know what? You drive. It's fine. What?
Full disclosure, I haven't driven on the right before.
What?
Yeah, I technically don't have my US license yet.
What is wrong with you?
A lot of things!
Get ready to show the world who you really are in the Toyota CHR. Toyota, let's go places.
gameplay so far. They actually leash us to the desk, so we can't actually go.
It's so that we
anywhere
can't
in breaks.
escape.
We can't escape. No, we're here against.
They should do that in the analyst desk as well.
Why? Why is that?
Because you frequently run off.
That's not true. That's not true. He's trying to get me fired. He's trying to get me fired.
It would not be difficult.
But it was it was an entertaining first half. But Denmark versus Thailand, they ended up taking it 2-0 up on the side of Denmark. And Josh, you've got some information, historical knowledge. They call you the esports historian of Overwatch.
Don't think they do, actually. Don't think anyone's ever called me that.
I call you that now.
But if you recall back to Denmark v Thailand last year at the World Cup, they were both at the same stage. And this was a similar situation at the halftime. It was Denmark 2-0 up, and Thailand came back and they drew it level. And the format was slightly different, so they didn't go to a fifth game decider, which would happen here if we had a draw at the end of the four maps. But there is historical precedent. Thailand have done this before. Wasn't even at their home stage as well, with the big crowd cheering them on. So I still believe in Thailand. I think they can still get it done. I'm expecting closer maps as we go through, but it must be said that Thailand started to fall behind a little bit the more the first half went on. They were very close at the beginning, then Denmark pulled ahead a little bit.
I think I can agree with that. I think definitely Shax is getting the better of Aputo in a lot of situations as well, in the individual 1v1s. Not even in the Widowmaker 1v1s. It was a lot of you know, the Sombra sort of Shax just diving into the back lines and finding opportunities to pick people off. But here's our maps, you know, enough about Widowmaker 1v1s. You know,
that will be important on Anubis as well.
It will be important on Anubis, but we are going to be going to Temple of Anubis. So it's going to be Thailand's map pick once again. That is the map we're going to be seeing. And once again, we have another little explainer video for the Assault game mode for anyone who just doesn't know at home.
This is Assault. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to capture two objectives. First A, and then B. To capture an objective, the attackers need to stand within its range for a set amount of time. Defenders can delay capture progress by also standing in range. To resume capture, the attackers must force the defenders off the objective by any means necessary. If successful, they score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. Now the fight moves to objective B. If even one attacker is on an objective when the clock runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until either team is cleared away. The round ends when the attackers capture both objectives, or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points wins.
To Anubis, and we've got Denmark.
We've never
versus
been to
Thailand
Anubis
again.
before.
I personally have never visited Anubis in person.
No, I wouldn't even know where to find it on a map.
No, really? That's like UK geography, lol. that's a question mark from me, my guy. But no, we're going to be going back into this one. It's Thailand's map pick once again. I want to see if they're going to be bringing out any interesting strategies, any interesting compositions. And this is interesting because normally on Anubis, we see a lot of Orisa, we see some Hog, maybe some Diva.
Yep.
So this is a strange turn of events.
There has been a bit of a shift in the metagame away from that solo support composition that we always used to see in the Overwatch League defending Anubis, because when you have Wrecking Ball in the mix and you have the Sombra and the Doomfist or the Genji, it's very easy to dive onto the Mercy and get that pick, and then the defending team has no heals whatsoever. But having said that, this is a bit of a shift from both teams. They look like they're going to take it very aggressively, particularly with this Wrecking Ball and the defense coming out from Thailand's Titawat, because it's not something we were particularly expecting from a lot of these teams at this World Cup stage. Seen teams experiment with it. Korea played a lot of it with Fate, but we thought we'd see much more Winston this stage.
This is interesting, and I'm wondering in what it's a response to in general, because this composition by Thailand, very mobile. You look at this, Aputo and Pan running these Genji and Sombra respectively, so they've got a lot of movement capabilities, and Denmark are going to be running with Ding on the Widowmaker, and it might be just trying to pressure him off. You see that? They're going to be using that ground slam, just trying to pressure him off, I should say. And already we see a kill coming in for them, but Ding immediately turns it around with a pick onto Pan.
I think Rocket's Brigitte here is going to be absolutely pivotal. Kellex gets the Resurrect over on Shax. They don't have that available to bring Padapan back up into the mix. But if Rocket can shut down the Genji and the Tracer coming out from Denmark, they're going to have a massive advantage in this fight. they should really struggle here to get much done with the full dive.
Very interesting. You're going to see if they can get anything asleep onto Ding, onto the high ground. Not today. Can they take out Kelix as well? Yes, it can. Titawa turning up in spades. And they are going to be able to hold this one close around the choke point. An interesting strategy by Thailand here. Really, there's no aggression by Denmark. They're not taking the initiative with this dive composition. It's very much a lot of poking.
Well, I don't think they can. That's the thing. If you dive right at the beginning, Thailand have the opportunity to just back off to the point and disengage. They also have the opportunity to just try and kill your flankers with the Brigitte. It's difficult here for Denmark to be able to get an easy initiation, an easy engage in.
Oh, post-bomb comes out. No kills, though. Mickey's going to be flying away, but he is going to get desuited. Opting to now use the blade by Fisher, but Patipan puts an end to it anyway. Nerf brings down Mickey once again, and it looks like Denmark have found a way into this point. Despite the fact that a few kills are trailing now for Thailand, they should be able to win this one as they have the closest spawns.
Titawa looks like he's going to go back for another engage. He does have his ultimate on the point. So just as this point's about to get capped, here comes another engage out from Thailand.
Laying down the mines as well, but Fisher puts an end to Titawa, and half the mines landed onto the bloody high ground, so nobody's going to be falling into them. And right now, Denmark Mickey, though, turns it around. A double kill with a self-destruct isn't enough. The blade! Pan, you absolute madman. He's managed to salvage it as Danny is going to fall, and somehow Thailand in the nick of time. That's 97.9% Sideshow. I don't know if you can read numbers.
I can,
but
in fact, that's pretty close to 100. Very close to 100. 2.1% away from 100, but Rocket falls. And unfortunately, the Anna not able to get any healing to him there. Winston Bubble blocked it, and it's another great engage from Denmark. They're able to get in. So much space being given to them there by Thailand because they held a little too passively. And Denmark, although they have been stalled for a little while, are not going to be stopped.
Yeah, and they've got ultimates to use as well. That's the most important thing. Thailand, they have a nano boost to try and defend with, but the question is, all this pressure, all this aggression right now being laid on by Denmark. You can see Shax waiting for the right opportunity to unleash this pulse bomb. Doesn't need it even for the time being, as we can see the Primal Rage being used by Nerf, forcing these players off the point. Now, no tick percentage just yet, but now it's starting to go their way as they're looking to bring down Pan into the back, who's actually switched off to the Winston now to try and stall and stagger this one out as long as humanly possible. Still, no one on the point now for the side of Denmark. Pulse bomb also going to be used by Shax, but again, nothing actually being gained from it. And if this stalls out any longer, Thailand are going to be in a very solid position to try and win this one out. And now they're going to be using the sound barrier, sending it in. Mickey using a self-destruct as well. No value gotten from that one, but it looks like Thailand still are going to be able to win this one.
Yeah, it looks like a poor commitment coming out from Denmark. They're still going to be able to contest it for a little while. A lot of players there. They do have quite a bit of sustain, but I do think Thailand's going to come out on top of this one eventually. Their spawners are just a little too strong. Unless Jax could go absolutely huge with that, but he doesn't. Oh, he trades, in fact. Both Jax and his prey ran into a bomb, but Thailand are still getting these spawns out. They've got triple tank available, so a huge amount of health on the board for Thailand to make their way through, and full changes almost across the board from Denmark as they move on to a triple tank, triple support composition. The GOATs are in Numbani, right?
They really are, and I didn't think I'd see the day, but now we're going to see EMPs used by Thailand. That's a lot of damage being laid down into them, and this should be an easy cleanup right now for the side of Thailand. And as I say that, once again, I've casters cursed them because they picked up 2 more kills. Pan and Aputo are going to be falling, which gives Denmark an opportunity to try and re-push into this one. Mickey falling as well. He's got to back off onto the point. He's going to be healed up a little bit now, but Fisher is really just swinging away. He's got that rally armor as well, making him very tanky, very difficult to deal with. Mine's going to be laid down onto the bridge, which means the positioning is going to be forced a little bit from them. Still, Thailand losing a few players, but they're going to start to respawn as the fight progresses right now. If Denmark don't manage to get some picks going their way, this could be disastrous. Pataman used that nano boost on him to try and force the positioning of Denmark again to the back of the bridge. He isn't going to fall. He's so weak. Finally, Shax collects the kill onto him, but an even trade for now.
Here comes the self-destruct up towards the roof. Nerfed forced to go back into the corner. He's almost got an Earth Shatter available, but a lot of pressure coming out on him. Fall's pretty weak, but 96% isn't going to be able to get off his ultimate. Thailand again with a lot of reinforcements off this spawn queue. I think they should be able to hit eventually.
Yeah, and it's scrappiness is the name of the game, I think, for a lot of these team fights. It's going either way. It seems like when one team has an advantage, they often get 2 picks at the start of the team fight. It's either Denmark or Thailand who manage to turn around with a few clutch moments or just managing to sort out their coordination in the tail end. But look at this, again, Aputo in the background He's gathering this information. This is the most important buff to Sombra right now because he can tell them this is where they are and this is where you need to lay it up. Graviton Surge connects onto so many of them. 3 kills now for Denmark. The D-Mech onto Mickey might as well make it a 4th, and now they can just start to play the point. Slowly but surely pressuring these players out. Titawat still on the wrecking ball, lays down the ground slam and the mines as well. 1 kill onto Kellex, that could be critical.
Great play there from Thailand, actually, I think, because to take the initiative and try for a dive means even when they lose 3, it was so far away from the point that Denmark's advantage was nullified by the spawns. So Thailand set up, they know the positioning. They get a great engagement, pick off a couple of players. Yes, they lose 3 in the Graviton, but those 3 respawn back by the time Denmark are fully on the point, and they pick off their support.
Aggression.
Aggression is the name of the game so far from Thailand, and with this triple tank setup, it's working pretty well.
Well, they're going to use that Earth Shatter pretty early on, see if they can kill Pan. 40 HP in a dream. He's still alive into the backline somehow. Is he going to be able to get the healers as well? He is. He's back onto 500 HP. But it looks like Denmark are winning this fight out as they bring down Pani S. The charge by Nerf. He's going to get hacked up for now, but he's actually building up a significant amount of his own Earth Shatter that he used in the start of his team fight. Self-destruct also going to be used. Pan falls once again. Can I at least get 1 tick from this? No. Titawat manages to stall it for the time being as he rolls his way onto the point, but Rocket falls again right at the start. Charged by Nerfed, not connecting. They need to get somebody onto the point right now. It's do or die time for Thailand. Shax brings him down. The mines are laid down, but is anybody going to be falling into it? EMP by Aputo. No kills rolling in the side of Thailand. It's all in favor of Denmark, and if they can manage to just clean up the rest of these players without Graviton Surge going to be sucking them in, surely they're going to be able to do this one here, Josh. Right now, it's looking so golden for Denmark.
It is, but the spawns coming back in. They've only just managed to kill Padapan, who had a Primal Rage available at the same time as the EMP came out. Denmark have all of the positioning advantage. They have more damage coming out from Thailand, but they're still whittling it away. Denmark really want this before the overtime hits. That would be absolutely crucial, and Thailand are just trying to hold on for another 10 seconds.
Thailand doing a brilliant job of stalling this one out. Shax gets a double kill onto the remaining members. Now the Coalescent, now the Sound Barrier. Denmark want to slam this one home, but Thailand triggered the overtime. That was the goal for them, and I think after all that time that they've just ate off the clock, they can still be pleased with that defense.
Absolutely, I think they can. There was an opportunity there for them to get the full hold coming out. Thailand played it pretty well, but they just overextended a little too much at the end there, and they didn't have the right ultimates available to be able to recontest. And I think overall Thailand will be happy with that.
Yep.
Denmark are not going to get another round unless Thailand also complete in overtime, or with less than a minute remaining, sorry. And so they've set themselves up with a great win condition. They know what they have to do. They know what they have to execute on. And I think Thailand should be feeling good about a potential comeback here that begins on Anubis.
They really should. Titawat, for me, was the star, I think, of that round, at least, with his stalling capabilities on the wrecking ball.
You like the hamster? Big fan?
I do like the hamster, Josh. I think it's actually one of the more fun heroes.
You ever owned a hamster, Brand?
I have, Josh. I don't want to get into it because it's quite traumatic. I've owned multiple hamsters. And
why would anyone own multiple hamsters?
Again, we're on Disney XD. I can't go into details about what's happened to these hamsters now. I don't want to scare people, Josh.
Okay.
But I do like
the mysteries of your past should never be tapped
into. They really
into.
shouldn't. They shouldn't be unraveled. It's.
But yeah, Hammond does unleash another kind of dimension to the game, I think, when you can really play as aggressive with certain dive compositions, or you can stall for a lot longer because he's so mobile. I think he's a great addition to the game.
Yeah.
The developers were scared when they added him. I think some of them.
I personally enjoy high pace when it comes to the game. High pace, I should say. So any sort of introductions to the game that is really speeded up and the way the team fights are taken is okay in my book.
Which is why you like the stationary sniper hero Widowmaker.
Yes, yes, yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of like high-octane gameplay when I'm playing Widowmaker.
Certainly is. Well, look at the composition that Denmark are running here, because this is what we more see on Anubis. The Junkrat Widowmaker defense with Danny on the Diva and Nerfed on the Orisa. And so this composition allows for a lot of damage if you play it aggressively. It's difficult to contest Shax because he's behind the Orisa shield. So Thailand going to find it a little difficult to be able to penetrate this. It's all about getting Aputo and Padapan in great positions before you dive.
Oh, that's not ideal. They brought down Aputo, they brought down Rocket. They've got a few members of the team in that left choke, but at the end of the day, they need to get the remaining members. And look at this aggression by Denmark, straight into the back lines. They're going to be messing with them all day long here. And this is the kind of aggression that might be able to be to backfire here onto Denmark, but no, they reset, they come back, they're going to take the high ground again, so nice disciplined gameplay by them.
Now, having said that, that rotation was a little slow, and it has allowed the entirety of Thailand to be able to get position on the right-hand side here. So a little dangerous here for Denmark. If Aputo and Panapan get in, here it comes.
Straight into the back line, and they managed to find one kill. Pan answers it back as well by bringing down Fisher. Still, the Resurrect available, and Shax is just clutching out of his mind. Rocket and Titawat no longer on the map, and that will be Thailand again having to reset, have another attempt at pushing this one.
Both Shax and Fisher used their ultimates in that fight. The Riptire came out and found Paddy S, which is great and all, but now they have the Nano Blade available. If they're able to get in another position like that, where they can enter for free, Patapan is going to have a field day. Because there's no Junkrat tire, no infra sight, they're not going to know where he's coming from. They're just going straight down the gut.
Blade straight into the back line. He's picked up 3. Pan with the 4K. Can he make it a 5? He might just do it. No, Josh, that was a supercharger. You tried to trick me, but it doesn't matter anyway.
He got a 6K.
Thailand have got it. Goodness gracious, me man's sake, that was some wonderful Overwatch. I just love it. I love to see the combos come together.
That was so good from Thailand. Denmark were caught unawares, and like I said, they had no ultimates to be able to deal with it. The Riptire wasn't there. Their positioning actually was a bit all over the place as well. Patapan, they seem to be exactly 1 dash distance away from each other, all across the map. He went on an adventure there and picked up a 4K.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And now Denmark, you can see, Nerf just holding close, just trying to prevent them from taking that high ground. Thailand, they still got some ultimates to use here. The question is, in what order do they want to be using them? How do they want to take this team fight? Using the Valkyrie to initiate, got a bit of extra healing. And now Nanabu is going to be used here onto Nerf. And they're going to look to try and shut down one of these players. Still, the Resurrect comes up onto Pani S as well, so it is a 6v6 engagement. Mickey holding onto his self-destruct as well. Nice sleep onto Titawat means they're going to be taking him out of the action. The EMP, I don't know if that connected onto anyone. Aputo, no value really gotten out of that one. In fact, he's going to fall himself. And now Denmark in a very solid position to try and retake this fight. Self-destruct by Mickey. No kills found for him either. His team, though, desperately still trying to find opportunities. But the back line has been approached by Denmark. And I think this should be a reset now by Thailand.
Yeah, absolutely. The EMP actually did catch a couple of people, but there was no available follow-up. Patapan was getting pressured, and he's pretty much the only other guy that's going to be able to get in there alongside Titawat. Thailand making changes now, and this is slightly unconventional perhaps, as Mickey moves over to the Brigitte, and they don't have another flex tank available, and they're just going with the solo Reinhardt. Rocket also moving over to that Lucio, so now Titawat has an ability to engage and disengage with the speed boost.
That's it. Fisher's going to be calling out a lot of positioning of the Thailand members, so they might try and go for an engage. In fact, the setup is there. Now they're going to be dropping down onto them. EMP going to be unleashed now, but the kills are just flowing in for Denmark once again. And this is where, if you're Thailand, you've got to reset it once again. You've got to cut your losses, take yourself out of the fight. Titawat is just trying to build up as much Earth Shatter as he can before he goes down.
Actually did a good job.
He did. He's now almost got it, so he's on 85%.
Yeah, and you see he switched over at the same time as Mickey, and because Mickey got no value out of that fight, only on 14%, so maybe they can get something out of the Earth Shatter here. It would be quite difficult.
Very
Denmark
difficult.
are incredibly mobile. There's so much high ground to be able to use. It seems almost impossible unless they can get to the point very quickly and drag players down, which Patapan might attempt to do. At the moment, though, he's been hacked up, pulse bomb, absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, and with that, again, you've just got to really call it quits. You're not going to be able to get the Resurrect off because you're not running the Mercy, but still, they might try and get a revenge kill or two, but no, Shax is absolutely dominating the backline. That's going to cause the rest of Denmark to just collapse onto them still. 3.5 minutes left for Thailand to try and make something happen with this. Still very much doable for them. And at this rate, though, Denmark, they are just hoarding these ultimates.
And here we might be seeing a bit of the weakness in terms of hero pools for Thailand. Can anybody else on this roster play a very competent Diva or Brigitte other than Mickey? Because ideally you would want to drop one of these DPS players, I think, and move to a Rhine, Brigitte, and then a Diva as well. Because Shax and Fisher are just annihilating the backlines of Thailand right now. There's nothing Mickey can do. He has to play forward with Titawat, otherwise his Reinhardt's going to go down, but he also has to protect the backline, or basically whoever Fisher and Shax are going for. It's incredibly difficult for him. He needs more help. Who on Thailand can step up?
Right now, it's getting to the point where we might just have 6 ultimates on 6 ultimates, and at that point, it's anyone's game. It's whoever can really execute a lot of them in the most efficient manner possible. I think that was a counter hack coming out actually onto them, but they're going to try and collapse onto them in the dark anyway. Post bomb, great by Shax once again, brings down Pani S. Tidawat falling quite low as well. And Denmark in a very solid position still. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. They can clean up these stragglers again. And Thailand now only a few short moments away from getting 6 ultimates on the board. Denmark still sitting on a couple of their own, but they've only got that one defensive support ult, the Valkyrie, and it's not very effective against a Nano Blade.
That's true, and Danny has been demegged in that previous engagement. It's all about Denmark being able to find a pick early on. If Fisher and Shax can find someone before Thailand have got into the point,
beautiful.
It could be massive.
Look at Aputo's positioning right in the back line here. He's waiting, he's got the EMP. He's going to try and set something up with this Nano Blade. They're going to go straight up the gut now, right down the middle. Still, the backline's going to get assaulted by Denmark. Now the Blade comes out as well. Mickey brings down Shax. Can he get any value on the Blade? No, Pan didn't receive the Nano Boost. He wasn't a recipient of it. In fact, they're still holding it. And now it's a little bit too late, a little bit too questionable, if you will. But still, Pan's going to be looking for a kill or two to beat down. Onto Fisher, takes him out of the fight. Nerfed is next. He's out. Mickey brings down Danny. This is wonderful execution despite some sloppy ultimates. And Thailand are looking dominant, monstrous. 6 on the point. Didn't get stunned up. He's not going to be able to get onto it.
To spawn.
Get back in there, Sunshine. That's what Mickey's going to be screaming at him. Rocket brings down Fisher as well. The point still in control for them. The kills flowing in the way of Thailand. It's a kill feed of blue right now. They're so close. 85.3%. The EMP laid down with the sound barrier. Not really going to be getting value out of that. And it's going to be the second Blade now for Pan. I got to say, Josh, this is looking clinical right now by Thailand.
Having said that, that charge coming out from Nerfed onto Panapan, and they've still got Fisher to delay. They've got it under the 1 minute mark, so Denmark will have a round 2 if they need to.
What? Tidawat with the charge. He seals the deal. Josh, mate, you're casting curse in them again.
I'm just saying, there's a silver lining here for Denmark. They did what they needed to do. With it looking as clinical and clean as it was, Thailand could have wrapped that up with still over a minute on the clock. But both of these teams are stretching out the offense, making sure that defensively they stay alive. That was that clutch kill onto the bongo drum there.
Yeah, you were very keen about that. You tried to trick me. You tried to trick me. It's like, yeah, that's 5 kills, by the way, Brett.
That's 5.
No,
Read the kill
Josh.
feed, Brett.
No. Stop trying to make Reddit clips about me. All right, calling me out, son. It's not going to be working. But I mean, Thailand, they got to be happy with this one, but still.
Very close.
It is very close. It's a minute on the clock right now for Denmark. It's a minute 35 for Thailand. So my new difference is it will mean 1 extra push for Thailand, most likely. It depends how well Denmark are going to be able to execute themselves on the attacking side now. And still up in the air. This series has been very close between them, despite the first 2-0. It did go backwards and forwards on that control map. Likewise as well onto King's Row, and now here on Anubis, no change in pace.
Absolutely not. Both of these two teams really neck and neck. The scoreline could definitely change after this, but at the moment doesn't quite reflect how strong Thailand have been playing in front of their home crowd. Opportunity to improve as well for all of these teams as they get kind of the pulse of how other teams like to play, what their style is, what the meta is like. Hello.
Look at that, some early scouting again. He's going to be calling out the composition as soon as it rolls out the gate. So it is
triple
a bit
tank,
of
triple
goats.
support.
Let's see that classic again. The goats.
So much damage here.
Anubis, but straight away, look at that, the collapse onto them by Thailand. Mickey finds a kill onto Kelix, but can they find any more? They're so close to getting another one there, but it is falling in the favor of Denmark once again. They've got so much heals on the point thanks to the Moira healing orb. Sting is doing a wonderful job of keeping the rest of his team up alive. Now Tidawat is to back off. He's going to be falling there to Shax on the Zarya. It's looking very ideal for Denmark right now. They cannot kill Nerve. Into the back. Peter, or Pan, I should say, is going to get brought down. And again, this will be another 1 team fight for Denmark. They're going to get 30 seconds on top of this. It's all about the stall game right now for Thailand.
Oh, with the way that opens there, with great engagement from Tidawat and Aputo and Padapan getting in there on the Doomfist, I thought Thailand would be able to come out ahead. They picked Kelix, but they just couldn't take down Ding the whole time. Instead, focusing on the Rhine, which you're not going to be able to do when he's got his shield in front of him and heals being blasted up his butt from behind.
30 seconds. They do not have much time to work with on the side of Denmark. They're going to be rushing up, though. They are very close to that Earth Shatter, very close to the Graviton. And Thailand looked like they wanted to try and take the initiative. They've dived straight onto the backline.
They've run away from the point.
Been caught off. They have run away from the point, but they're going to be able to contest it because guess what, Josh? That's what Hammond does. He's fast. He's a ball. He gets onto the point, lad. Nice charge by Nerf, though. He's going to be able to pin him against the wall onto Teaserwatt. The kill is going to be running into their favor once again. Nerf used that Earth Shatter a little bit earlier. He's fallen very weak and he's hacked up a pan with the 3K. Thailand are able to defend it in the nick of time here, and that's just, again, smart plays, smart initiations into the back, recognizing that they had time to break off the back line of that comp and then still contest the point.
So much of this triple tank, triple support, which we tend to call GOAT, so much of this composition is about how you play around your Brigitte, how you put her in position to succeed, and Denmark kind of hung Fischer out to dry on the engage there. The entirety of Thailand knew that they had time to be able to take out Fischer and still get back to the point and contest it in overtime without giving up a tick. So excellent execution on the defense from Thailand. Having said that, it is possible here for Denmark to come out with the win or a draw, because this opening point A offense was so clean by them. It only took them one team fight win.
Yeah.
The pressure is now on Thailand.
Really is. They've got to perform now. They do have a bit more time to work with comparatively to what Denmark had. 1 minute 35.
Minimal though as well, really. I think that just extends it from one fight into two fights potentially. So
yeah,
I guess that doubles the amount
can
of
make the
fights
difference though. It can make the difference at the end of the day, you know, at this high level of Overwatch. But you talk about the compositions now that are being run. Denmark again sticking with what they did before, putting that Arissa compositions on Anubis. Not uncommon. We see this all the time into the Overwatch League, or at least we did. And Thailand, we'll see what they want to go for here. I mean, they might be drifting towards a Reinhardt composition. In fact, that's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to be going for some pseudo kind of GOATs composition or a pan on the Reaper.
This is an interesting one. They don't want to go with that Genji Sombra composition that took them a couple of tries to be able to execute from last time. It's a little too obvious. So now trying to push their way through the right side to see if they can go straight down the gut. They want Denmark to go into them, and Panafan will be in a great position.
Aggressive Wraith form there by Pan as he tries to maneuver his way onto the point as well. One kill for Rocket means though, and Mickey, that's two supports down now for Thailand. Here's where you've really got to try and reset this, and this could be disastrous right now for Aputo. He's been demeked into the enemy's backline. Pan's been found as well. They're going to get one more push attempt out of this anyway, but this is a bit disastrous right now because they're dropping like flies.
I'm actually surprised they killed Aputo there on the mini diva, because when you're running around and you
could have just staggered him.
Yeah, could have just staggered him forever pretty much. With only 40 seconds on the clock, 10 second stagger is a massive amount of your time. But they've been kind, they've been merciful then.
Let it back to the point again. Another attempt going in, but there's those bombs laid down. Damage brings it up, Rocket falls down to Tyre. What's going to be the next casualty as he goes down. And in Thailand, they reset fast now. They might have one more attempt.
Well, they don't really have any major ultimates available. Difficult situation for them. He's just trying to run away as well. He's getting surrounded.
Oh no, he's been surrounded behind enemy lines. They break the shield, and that's a late kill.
With 10
seconds remaining. It's do or die now for Thailand. They're just waiting at the choke point. Couldn't even get onto the point. 2 seconds remaining. T-Lord has to charge his way onto it. Now Ting with the nano boost lays down the anti-nade. Is going to be connecting it up, which means it's just a huge collapse. And they all come falling down. The last dregs of Thailand now looking to try and contest this one up. Ground slam onto the high ground by Mickey, but not quite good enough. And that'll mean Denmark take another map. And it's 3-0. Beautiful stuff by Denmark. I think they can be happy with what they've achieved in this first match. They've definitely shown up here. A lot of people not really showing them maybe the respect they deserve.
I don't know about that. I think they are the dark horses of this group. When you match them up against teams like Sweden and Australia and even China as well, actually, you would say they're the underdogs. This matchup a bit more even between these two teams. I would have favored Thailand coming into it, but unfortunately for them, it's Denmark that's been running away with it so far. And in these crucial moments, they're separating themselves. The final map of control, the point C defense of King's Row, and now the overtime pushes on Anubis. It's been Denmark that run away with it, have the slightly better adjustment.
Now the question is now, Thailand revealing their compositions. Are they in a bad situation for the later ends of this tournament?
I don't think so. I think there's things that you can learn from this match. It's only the very beginning of this first of this group stage here in Bangkok. I think they've got some development to do, some tweaking to how they're running these compositions. I perhaps would have liked to see them try actually the Genji Sombra run that they initially ran with on the point A offensive maneuvers. It worked eventually, but these adaptations not quite there for Thailand, and I think there are some hero pool adjustments that they need to adjust as well.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. We saw some issues with that, but we do know the next map that we're going to be seeing here. It is going to be Rialto.
I
Where
love
is
it.
Rialto?
I think that's in Sudan.
Failed me, Josh. I gave you a second opportunity. You let me down. Rialto, an interesting map. It is still very much defended heavily, but before that, we're going to a quick little explainer video just to break down this game.
This is Escort. Two teams face off as either defenders or attackers. This is the payload. The attacking team has a limited amount of time to escort the payload along a set path containing 3 checkpoints. The payload only moves forward when an attacker stands near it. Defenders can delay the payload's movement by standing nearby at the same time. To get moving again, attackers must clear away the defenders by force. Every time the payload reaches a checkpoint, the attackers score 1 point and gain additional time on the clock. If even one attacker is near the payload when the clock runs out, the game enters overtime. This extends play indefinitely until the attackers are either cleared off the payload or they gain more time by reaching a checkpoint. The round ends when the payload reaches the destination or when time runs out. Teams switch sides each round. Whichever team scores the most points and escorts the payload farthest wins.
Are we Sudan, apparently, according to you, Josh? We're apparently in Sudan with Rialto. I don't think that's true. I believe this is Venice, but it's an interesting map. We've seen some very highly aggressive compositions throughout the Overwatch World Cup on this map in particular. A lot of teams like to play a kind of selfless style when they just run up to the gate and it's an absolute bloodbath. So we'll see what these teams opt to do now, but it is Thailand on the defense, which bodes well for them. Rialto, first point, very hard map to try and break that first point.
Yeah, I think point A is the biggest challenge for these aggressive offensive teams. A lot of teams favoring the Reinhardt Zarya on the defensive section here, although a lot of compositions are viable. You can try and use a Fire to break through this, but there's only a couple of sightlines where you're really able to get it, and especially difficult here for Denmark if they want to try that kind of thing, because they'll be running into a Padapan on that double sniper. Are they going to go aggressive here, or is this just the Sonic?
Attackers incoming.
Stop the payload by Danny there, but Denmark are going to be opting for a quarter smash to try and do no longer the case.
Rally power, forward shield.
But they are now trying to get pressure. He used four position now for the high ground. Not ideal. That's two players going down the tail. Not one the easiest point to try and defend. You have a huge advantage just there from this defenders. You let early little kills slip out of your hands. Snowball. Just going to run with it. Snowball.
Yeah, absolutely. Denmark, they're looking really good. They really didn't have difficulty breaking through that first choke point. There will be another contest here coming out from Thailand, and the spawn advantage is favoring massively. But Bishop and Shanks are setting up odd little locations, taking different sight lines very well. And that forces Thailand to be very predictable.
He goes down. Patrick's the one who went against Shax as well. This is beautiful for Thailand. Again, now we're starting to see right.
I almost feel something.
Denmark, they were just walking around, you know, they didn't know what to do at that point. They were just kind of waiting around the choke point for a pick from either Shax or Fischer, which didn't actually end up being
Mass changes now coming out from Denmark as they go to a much more aggressive running this.
Time to breathe, man.
Is going to allow Fischer much more space. Shax with the info site available.
happy. Nerf shatter connects onto Nerf. They immediately bring him down, but not before Rocket ends up going down as well. Kellex manages to get the resurrect off the Dragon Strike. There's no value from the side of Thailand and Denmark. It's beautiful execution. It's wonderful. They're not really being punished in any of their actions.
Absolutely. Danny, as you said, was getting as much cap time as possible. Nerf slowly set up so that he was on the high ground, dropped down behind the entirety of Thailand alongside Fischer. Perfect dive setup from Denmark. Thailand needed to apply a bit more pressure, but just couldn't execute properly. They do have a Graviton available for point B, but Denmark is starting to get their ults up as well. Transcendence and Blade are going to be available in this next fight if they take it slowly.
Graviton Surge by Mickey is going to be one of the win conditions for Thailand in this next team fight. Keep your eyes on Danny. Might be looking for opportunities to really eat that Graviton up. It will be critical if it does happen. Now Fischer just trying to set up a Blade again. It's the slow siege, poking, prodding, looking for opportunities, moments of weakness. Blade comes up and now it comes out. There we go, there's one, waits for the grapple. Not today, Sunshine. You won't get away with that one. Just Jeff in the charge. Tito Watt, my goodness, shuts down Fischer. He's been on point with his charges, but I'm afraid it might not be enough with these kills rolling in now for Denmark.
All of the positioning in favor of Denmark. They've got the cart in a decent position. Even though Padapan and Aputo did their best at the opening of that, they have crumbled on the defense of point B. They'll get another attempt. The spawn's very defensively favored on Rialto. And will approach now with Mickey on the Brigitte. So they've got a bit of reinforcement behind Titowat, but again, not playing this with triple tank.
Yeah, and not really much to work with either, Josh. They're going to see if they can push them off to the point here. We see Primo Waitress used by Nerf there, but Kellex falling. That is humongous. Okay, immediately Denmark, they got to back off from that. There's no way you can take that team fight with your Mercy out.
And now for Denmark, it becomes a slow approach. That's really them trying to put a lot of pressure on Titowat and draw Mickey forwards to help his Reinhardt, and at that point hit the back line. Or they can go for an approach where they swing Shax out wide and use the fact that they know sight lines are going to be controlled. See what they do, but Shax just destroys Padapan in the 1v1, and they're going to try and deny this res. Don't deny the res, but they do get the pick on Rocket, and that's good enough for Denmark.
Absolutely good enough for them. You can see Nerf's positioning is pressuring them all the way back. The Dragon Strike has to get value here from Thailand. Aputo's got to find something with it, but it's easily dodgeable when they know where it's coming from. Fischer desperately trying to search for that one little kill there, but it doesn't really matter anyway because Denmark are rolling this cart in. This second checkpoint, I should say, will be theirs.
And Padapan, when you're playing with a Brigitte and a Reinhardt, really shouldn't be trying to take those direct 1v1 battles against Shax. He doesn't have any protection, Shax, and he's also really far back with the rest of his team. So he can take all the battles he wants. That was a fairly crucial mistake coming out there from Thailand, and it's lost at checkpoint B. Now Fischer with the Transcendence of the Blade.
Still going to be using it, going to be concatenating these ultimates on top of each other, trying to get value out of it. Aputo's so weak, one slash will do it, but Tito1 is there. Bats him away, get out of my game, Fischer. Leaves him, and that is going to be a decent defense now from Thailand. Wonderful, they needed that. They needed to really sort of stem and stop whatever was happening there. Denmark were really getting away with murder.
And Thailand didn't even use that many ultimates to be able to deal with it. And so they've still got a load in the bank. Denmark were relying on that Blade to be able to get stuff done, but now switching over, triple support, triple tank, just going to try and beat Brighton this one out.
Still looking for kills here. Mickey's got a ton of armor on top of him. Danny's going to be going to be falling, I should say. And this is a lot of aggression by Thailand right into the tail end, into their spawn, if you will. The healing orb going to be doing a decent job of keeping them up, but look at this aggression. Cannot be stopped here. Denmark, you've got to come back a little bit now.
A lot of aggressive damage pressure coming out from Aputo and Padapan makes it difficult for Nerf to be able to drop his shield. You see there, as soon as he goes aggressive, he's getting attacked from all angles, and that can easily bring him down. So that takes some of the aggressive punch out of this GOAT's composition.
Oh, Tito1 from behind! He only connects it onto one. Didn't read it, but unfortunately Fischer wasn't quite quick enough, and it's still going to mean he set up themselves for victory in this team fight despite the 2 kills. Denmark have got Mickey, clinical stuff on the Brigitte. He's shown them why he's considered to be one of the best in the world. And Thailand, they've stopped them. A minute left now for Denmark to try and push this cart to the end.
It's not going well here for Denmark. They had a strategy to be able to break through. If all else failed, you run this triple tank, triple support. They're running it without a Zarya at the moment, so they don't even have this fallback enormous ultimate to go on to. And Thailand still, with a lot of ults of their own, they came with that plan. He's going to try and disrupt people, but he might be caught.
He's been spotted. Going to have to shield bash his way up to the high ground. It doesn't matter anyway. I mean, Pan is picking up these players as they're rotating around, trying to catch out Mickey, which means Denmark, you got to reset once again. You got to back off. You've just lost a team fight that you otherwise would have had now with 30 seconds remaining. It's do or die time for Denmark.
It absolutely is. Panapan and Pluto, they're always able to pick off these supports. Unbelievable play by them. It's just going wrong for Denmark. This house of cards is falling down as their supports are picked over and over.
Straight up aggression being used here. Pan's going to be healed back up as well. These kills, they're staggering us out. It's wonderful by Thailand because the more kills they stagger out here, the less chance they have of getting a solid attack now on the side of Denmark. Fisher, last minute switch now over to the Widowmaker. Mickey's trying to bash people into the drink. Not quite good enough. Now the Coalesce is going to be used. A whole smash of ultimates being used together here to see if they can collect any value. Mickey being pushed all the way into the back lines. Tino uses the shatter. Nerf is on the ground. Nerf is charged. And he's a spaghetti bolognese against the wall, if I do say so myself.
That's not how you
very
eat pasta,
fitting.
Brent.
Very fitting for Rialto. I don't care, Josh. That is how I cook my pasta in the morning. I love to smash Reinhardt against the walls. But it looks like Thailand are going to be happy with this. The overtime is done. Nobody else can get on the point, and they've got a successful defense. Nice. Now they got a win condition.
They certainly do. Solid defense coming out from Thailand, and very rewarding from them if they look back over this game. They can pick out a couple of silver linings. It was close. They were able to bring it to Denmark on a number of maps. And when Denmark ran this triple tank, triple support composition that was previously doing so well in the entirety of the World Cup, they shut it down. They had the answer to it, and they ran this double sniper with Padapan, a new addition to the Thailand roster, doing incredibly well. It wasn't there last year when Thailand was able to draw with Denmark. This time, the bigger picture, they haven't come out as well in this initial match, but Pan, I think, is showing that he is a very strong sniper, one to be reckoned with.
This is what the World Cup is all about. It's showcasing the talent from these regions that you otherwise wouldn't see. Overwatch League Season 2 signings are starting up again. These players are really using this as an opportunity to perform and potentially get these offers coming in because there's a lot of talent that goes unnoticed. Mickey was noticed from the original World Cup, brought into Envious. These events are so important for these players, and they recognize that. We were talking to them. They feel like this is one of the only opportunities they're going to have as Thai players to really get noticed and picked up and brought into the wider scene.
And when you look at their performance in contenders this year, this is a mash together of mostly players from Mega Esports and Xavier Esports, who both compete in that Pacific region. And they haven't done so well this season of contenders, but now they're showing they can go toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the World Cup. They've qualified here, and they've managed to get to Bangkok, play in front of a home audience, and they're doing pretty well. We'll have to see as these matches develop where Thailand end up, but they've got to be feeling reasonably good about their opening despite losing this first match.
Now, I wonder if Thailand are going to clock onto this. A lot of teams have been playing this hyper-aggressive style right out of the gates, and you can see Denmark, they're playing right up to the walls. They do not want to let them get any cart progress whatsoever. And this is very akin to the old style of what Rogue used to do, prevent all capture progress on the cart whatsoever. They do not even let them get it. When you have such an overwhelming spawn advantage coming from this point, you can do this. You can just play right up to the walls, and as long as you get a kill or two, you're going to be wonderful. But even after losing these players, they're still in a good position. Mickey finding two, they're going to be able to clean up the rest of the Denmark squad, and now push the cart a little bit further forward. So that aggressive hold by Denmark didn't pay off like they were hoping for.
It certainly didn't, and I think Thailand had a good way of breaking it. First of all, they run the composition that worked so well against the Goats Comp previously. When they were on the defense, they ran this composition, worked very well. Secondly, they pushed somebody from the high level of spawn so that Danny's forced to contest. The only player with verticality is forced upwards, and they use the fact there's no defense matrix on the ground to pick up a couple of kills. But Denmark, the advantage of this composition, you still have room to engage again.
Pan gets a pick or two. He's going to be sitting in a very tasty scenario, bread and butter style, if you do ask me.
Is that the tastiest thing that you could think of in that
At the point, I'm not going to lie, Josh, I'm a little bit hungry. I skipped breakfast. I'm thinking of bread and butter right now. But Denmark are pushing this in. They're getting a couple of kills, really sort of forcing the positioning. Rocket has managed to get the Resurrect onto Pan, which means that Thailand's still able to push this up, but it is a very difficult point to try and take. Dragon Strike going to be forcing the positioning now. Can they capitalize off of it? Pan with a kill onto Nerf, Pan with a kill onto Shax. He's opening this one up for his team. Kelix falls as well. Give him the fourth son. Giving it to him right now. He's running them down. Semi-automatic. He doesn't care. The disrespect is there.
Absolutely. Pan is really doing well here, but that entire setup was great from Thailand. They used the Dragon Strike to cut off two players, particularly Nerfed, who was already engaged and didn't have a way to get out of there. So once they pick up Nerfed, it's a great opening for Thailand, and then Pan just delivers and just delivers.
Oh, Pan!
He's
again!
dominating this Widowmaker matchup.
He's feeling it, man. The crowd is behind him. This is his time to shine. He's taking the stage by storm right now, and these openings are critical because it means Denmark, they can't play aggressive. They've only got the one sniper. The Paradise composition is based off the fact that you have two long-range damage dealers so that you cannot block yourself from all of them. But Thailand right now going to be using the Dragon Strike again. Aputo's going to force the position from the high ground. They end up using a Transcendence on the side of Denmark. Charge coming in from Tidor. He's found Nerf. That's enough damage. Padapan is going to be at least capturing that one, stealing the kill away from him. I think that charge would have done it anyway, but this is looking wonderful right now for Thailand, and it's just kill upon kill upon kill.
Fisher replies with one or two, but it's not going to be enough here. Only a couple of players left alive, and again we see the setup is delivered from this Aputo Dragon Strike. Forces predictable positioning out of Denmark, and Thailand are there
so
to capitalize.
close now. They've only got a short little way to push this in. If they can get this second checkpoint, they're going to be looking wonderful. Earth Shatter being used as well. A lot of ultimates being used by Thailand, and this actually is still being turned by Denmark. I felt like they might have actually thought they had this one without actually trying, but Aputo, not if he's got anything to say with it. He's got one kill. Can he get the third? Kelix falls, but is there anyone else there to try and win this fight out with the rest of them? Not quite. How did they manage to drop the ball there?
Because T2Watt decided to go on an adventure to the enemy spawn instead of make sure that they captured point B. They didn't realize that Denmark were investing all those ultimates to be able to hold on to the point. Kelix was there to block it alongside Ding and Fisher, and Thailand just kind of lost it. Their heads weren't in the game. They thought they got checkpoint B and didn't save their ultimates correctly to be able to push forward, set up a strong defense, and ensure they captured. And now Thailand are on the back foot with 2.5 minutes remaining. And things were looking excellent. Now they're looking a little bit tentative.
Well, we'll see if they can take the positioning here, moving all the way forward. Transcendence is going to be forced out very early on by Denmark, just trying to keep those players up. Ding doing a decent job of it for the time being. But Mickey, he's going on some flanks, man. Look at him. He doesn't even care. Straight into the back line. Mickey's finding the 1v1s against their team. Now Kelix, he wants to go for that resurrect, but it's not going to be good enough. He's going to get swacked in the face by that flail. Brought down again. Two members of the team up. Just Ding, just trying his hardest, just throwing out the balls, trying to do Daddy Doa happy, trying to do him justice, you know, but it's not quite there. That's going to be a second checkpoint. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. This is very doable.
Very doable. We'll see if there's any composition swaps across the board. Shax's moving over to the Doomfist as well. Was playing that Widowmaker, but after he got charged down by Mickey on a ridiculous flank, I think he's had enough of it. Moving over to the Doomfist instead. But Thailand are sticking to this composition that's working pretty well for them. I thought it would be too easy.
Pan! He's opened it up. Can they deny the resurrect? Straight away, Kelix might be going for it. Tidor with the Earth Shatter. Straight into the backline, is being pushed away. Daddy will fall though as a result. And now the self-destruct, just trying to really stagger this one out. Not going to be doing what Pan is behind enemy lines right now. He cannot miss these shots. But Denmark have defended it. They're going aggressive, and Thailand have got to reset.
Kelix is showing why he is an owl-level Mercy that was performing really well all throughout Season 1 as well. Because the previous time was the only time he's been caught out while resurrecting someone. This time, Ding dies. It looks like he's going to go for the resurrect, baits out all of these different abilities, and then just swoops in afterwards when nobody's looking at him. He's doing a great job of keeping Denmark in this game, even when they lose an early pick. And Padapan has now switched over. They're running that composition again. Triple tank, triple support. We'll see if they can get it done. Nano boost available.
Ding has the Transcendence, though, to really negate a lot of this damage. He's going to be doing straight into the back lines. The uppercut not going to be there, but it does bring Panny down. He gets the nano boost on, but it's not quite good enough. Ended up using it onto Mickey, the rally as well. They've got 2 kills, and straight into the back again means Pan will fall to the fist of Shaz.
He's
Shaq.
done so much. Shax has done so much on this Doomfist, and I'm not even sure whether running this triple tank, triple support is the greatest idea. There are a lot of sightlines here for you to be able to get your double snipers in
off
with.
the edge,
And right now, Thailand are struggling a little bit in the same way that Denmark were. They're not forcing out ultimates. They don't have a way of dealing with Shax when he swoops in from behind. They're going to struggle here, I think. But all they need is one successful push.
That's it. That's the only thing they're asking for right now. But Denmark are going to be doing everything they can to prevent this one. T1 needs to get value out of this Earth Shatter.
From the high road.
Fisher, he has the Dragon Strike as well. He's going to wait for this bubble to come down. Earth Shatter comes down. Fisher goes down. They brought him out, but now he did manage to get that Dragon Strike off, forcing the positioning of Thailand forward, leaving his team to try and collect the kills. But I think it's still going away. But no, Calix gets another Resurrect off. They are not punishing this in the slightest, and it is going to be another one fight, realistically, for Denmark. Or is it? Mickey still in a fight. 80 HP, swinging around. He brings down Fisher again, but now he's being beaten to a pulp in the corner by the Primal Raging Winston. It's a very prolonged fight. Calix falling though. Vida done it. Nice bash. Connects onto Shax. Does not let him get away with it. He's forced them away, and now Thailand are looking wonderful. Moving all the way forward. That will be that. And Thailand are going to get a map at the end of it.
Great work from them, and you can see how much it means to the players, means to the crowd as well. They have finally come out with that game win after they were so unbelievably close in the previous three maps that we saw here. Rialto happened to be their stage. They dealt with the triple tank, triple support that came out from Denmark and then hammered it home with their own. It was looking dangerous at the end, honestly.
It really was.
A strong performance coming out from both of these teams
Close this
early.
game was, man. Look at the score lines there. This was a very, very backwards and forward series. There was minute differences. That first control map, you think back to that when they lost that first initial round all the way back. And it's actually ridiculous. This game could have been very different, and it was very close between them. And I think people, again, are sleeping on Thailand as a tournament. People looked at Denmark as the dark horse. Thailand are really trying to show up and shut up some of the doubters.
I think it'll be very interesting when both of these teams take on, for example, Spain, who people have potentially in the bottom half of this group, and also when they take on teams like Sweden, like Australia and China, who most people have sat at that top end, because honestly, they look very coordinated. Even when you're seeing two teams of equal skill fight it out, it's obvious whether or not they're a very strong team or a very weak team just by how they coordinate some of these team fights and ultimates. I was impressed with both Denmark and Thailand today.
Thank you, Josh. Well, that's enough of the over talk, because we got Mika down on the floor with Calix.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. We have Calix here from Team Denmark, and you just took the first series of day one of the stage 3. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's nice to win the first game, because I think we were all pretty nervous, because it was the first game on the big stage for most of us. So it feels great to win.
Some people have called Team Denmark the dark horse of the competition, and obviously you guys are playing pretty well. How are you feeling about that? Is there anybody that you're really looking forward to taking on?
I look forward to taking on Sweden, because Scandinavian country, and I feel fine about people calling us the Black Horse, because I agree with them, because nobody knows who we are. So, yeah.
And you're feeling pretty confident that we will see you at BlizzCon coming out of the stage?
It's hard to tell right now, because all of us, we were pretty nervous because it was the first match. So I think if we win later today, then maybe, but I don't know yet.
Well, thank you so much, and we are going to throw it over to our casters, Brent and Shicho, to break down the action of what we just saw. Thank you so much.
Do you think we could make a makeshift desk here?
The analyst desk?
Yeah, can we pull up some chairs and maybe just
someone will find us a desk.
Someone will find us a desk at some
You want to
point.
feel like you're at home?
I do, yes. Yes, I do. Can we run up some highlights? I'd love to look at some highlights.
Brent
That's what I'm very good at. I have a huge brain, and I like to talk about Widowmaker matchups. So I don't think we're going to
Give me your thoughts on this Widowmaker matchup, though, because I think coming into it, most people would have said that Shax was kind of favored. He plays in a more competitive, higher skill level contenders region.
Yes.
I think that's not too BM to say. Pacific region has its own strengths, But Shax, I think, was coming into this favored overall. But I was really impressed with Padapan.
Oh,
they set him up in great positions to get big Dragon Blades out. He had one here on Nepal, another amazing one on Anubis, and was able to find picks all over the place on Widowmaker.
Yeah, the Widowmaker was particularly impressive, but it's also a lot of his Genji performances that we saw in this match was all these big kills was being set up by the rest of his team. Pani S we need to talk about, but also a Puto on the Sombra, setting them up with information and positioning, because that is critical. It's something you don't really see too much because it's quite hard to discern. When the Sombra player is giving you all of the positioning information so that you can perfectly execute your initiation, it's just wonderful, and you are going to be able to get those kills. But I got to agree, Padipan was unreal this match when it comes to those individual Widowmaker matchups against Shax. Now, Shax had his moments as well, and Denmark did end up taking this first match anyway, regardless of that last map. So it's not like it's not the end of the world, you know, for Denmark here. But Pan's definitely one of the. It's definitely not. We've got more Overwatch to come, but I was impressed definitely with this Thailand squad, and I feel like if they work on some of their mistakes, some of their issues, some of their coordination, they are going to be looking like more of a contender as well as this tournament progresses here.
What I think was so good about what we saw coming out from Denmark as well is that both Fischer and Shax are very comfortable on that Sombra. They weren't getting an unbelievable amount done, but they were helping the rest of their team, and particularly their partner in crime, every single time. When Shax runs the Sombra and Fischer is playing the Doomfist, for example, Fischer was getting max value out of everything. And then when it was the other way around and they were playing Sombra Tracer with Fischer on the Sombra, they were getting a huge amount of picks, particularly on Anubis. So I think that both of these teams have got strengths in how they're able to play this style. That was great. The deflect of his own arrow into a Puto, kill stolen at the end there.
But it was this section in particular, I think Thailand had an absolute fun time on, didn't they? That end part of Rialto into the drink area. But wonderful showing by Thailand in general. I mean, how many times can you see Padapan pop off with headshots before eventually you're like, you know, let's do it again? Throw them into the bloodbath that is Sweden, China, Australia, you know. Let's see how they perform now against those teams. That's what my question marks are.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how these teams stack up. Like we said at the beginning of the show, this is easily the most competitive group, in my opinion, that we have in the Overwatch World Cup. We had some strong favorites in the previous ones. In Korea, we had, obviously, Korea, and then Finland and Russia. And then we had USA and Canada that were playing in LA. Right now, I don't know who the favorites are in this group. Personally, I might say Australia and China, but I know people really rate Sweden. I've seen how Reinforce plays.
Not good, mate. Not good. I've been in my apartment. I've been being woken up by Swedish comms at 8 AM when he's been scrimming. From the sound of it, he's been quite angry. I don't know if they've been going well, but we'll find out, I guess, later on today. But with that being said, I mean, have you got any more finishing points?
Absolutely
here, Josh?
not. I'm just looking forward to the next matchup that's going to be brought to us.
Absolutely.
Spain versus Australia is going to be absolutely fantastic, I think. I'm hyped to see this Australia squad. They've made massive changes since last year. It's much more of an Australian super team.
Custer's finally in it, so Uber hasn't made the same mistake as the previous year. So it should be looking pretty good for Australia. But that being said, we're going to go to a quick break. But after that, we will have this match coming up.